Hi, this is Rosemary from A Rosy Life on Joyful Acres. Today is Sunday, January 24th, 2021, and I wanted to do an update, follow-up on my Let's Get Your Act Together Rosemary vlog. Today I weighed in at 158.8, so I'm down 3 pounds. My fasting blood sugar has gone down 51 points from 188 to 137. My blood pressure is still a little high. It's 149/83, which isn't bad considering I'm not taking any kind of medication for anything. So I'm getting there with baby steps. Still have a long ways to go, but I'm working on it. I was able to get my Christmas decorations down this week and everything's back in the shed, so I'm trying to get life back to normal. I was able to get my spreadsheet done on Excel where I do my tracking for all of the changes I'm trying to make in my life. I am logging in my weight, my blood pressure, blood sugar every day, my sleep because I have a lot of insomnia issues. I am also trying to meditate every day. I'm doing the Wim Hoff method, which I will put links to below in the description, and that includes breath work and cold showers daily. I started doing those about 2 months maybe before Art died, and I really feel like it helped my depression and has helped my immune system overall. He has done amazing things, Wim Hoff, the inventor of the program, and has a great deal of free information online. He has been able to be injected with all kinds of disease and been able to fight it off with just using cold and breath work. So with everything going on in the world, I'm trying to make sure that I'm doing everything I can for my immune system in addition to having a healthy diet. I have done each of those things every day except one. I have been following the Mediterranean diet and finding that works pretty well for me. It's mainly whole food, plant-based, no processed foods. It does include some chicken and fish, very limited, but no red meat. And I have this week not had any fish or chicken. I've only had vegetables, grains, beans, legumes, that type of thing, and dairy. I have found that and intermittent fasting together have really been working well. I'm pretty pleased with 3 pounds in a week. I was actually down almost 4 pounds, but I lost a dear, sweet young friend this week to COVID, and the stress, as I always do, gets me craving sugar. So I use my drug of choice, which is sugar, and had a few bouts of Oreos and milk. So I ended up putting 0.8 of a pound back on that I had previously lost. So hopefully this coming week I can continue on the same path, less Oreos and milk, and keep going step by step with this. My focus now that the Christmas decorations are down is to work on doing an additional Swedish death cleaning. I've done this once before, got rid of quite a bit of things, but want to do another run through. If you're not familiar with that, it is taking a look at your home, your garage, your shed, anywhere you have stuff, and look at it and see, when I die, what are my children or family going to be left to deal with? Death creates its own issues and stresses without adding more to it by having a bunch of unwanted, unusable things around. It's different than minimalism, which many are focusing on right now, although I'm trying to do a bit of that too, and just thin out things in my home, get rid of clothes I haven't worn in a while, that kind of thing. But when Art and I combined households, he had sold most of his furniture and fixtures and things, but had a lot of kitchen utensils, supplies, that kind of thing that ended up getting put in the shed. So I've been trying to go through that, sort that. I've taken stuff to Goodwill, but there's still more that I'm trying to go through right now. A good example is when I was 19, I bought a set of china and crystal and silverware to put in my hope chest. And my children grew up with us always eating on that china every special occasion and holidays. And I just naturally assumed that when my children were grown and when I died, that my girls would want that china. Well, it was a floral pattern, and neither of them are really into that kind of thing. And when I asked about it after I sold my dining room hutch and didn't have a place to store it any longer, neither of them wanted it. So I sold it, and it really made me think that there's a lot of stuff that we hang on to thinking our children will just treasure it. I know Art was into classic furniture and always talked about the things he wanted to save for his children someday, and yet he had a gentleman that was in the furniture business tell him that children these days aren't into classic type of furniture. It's a different trend and style now, and most of them throw out whatever is left to them by their parents. So he ended up having to sell it anyway when he moved here with me. So it wasn't an issue of having furniture and things, but like I said, a lot of utensils and supplies. When my Aunt Louise died, she lived in Virginia, and when she died a few years back, she didn't have any children, and my sister and I and her son and his wife went up and were doing a lot of the cleaning out of things. And she had hoarded and saved so much stuff. She liked to shop as her entertainment, I guess. She was in her 90s when she passed, and so she probably had 15 rolls of aluminum foil and Ziploc bags by the tons and wax paper, things like that no human is ever going to go through that much. So my sister and I split some of those supplies up, and I had some of that here, plus my own stuff. Then when Art moved in, he had more stuff. So I've been hanging on to all of this stuff. And today, thank goodness, Heidi and her husband Dan came over, and they just bought a camper. And so I was able to let them have some of these extras that I need to get rid of and get it out of my cupboard. That way, when I open the door of my cupboard, things don't come falling out on me, or I can't get in to get something out because there's so much stuff crammed into it. And I don't want, when I die, for that added stress to be placed on my children, that they're going through the cupboards going, what in the world was she thinking hanging on to this stuff? So that's my goal for this week. Probably some trips to Goodwill, and some stuff may be put out by the road. I live in a rural area, and there have been so many things that I didn't need or want anymore that I could sit out by the road and put a sign on it, free, and a neighbor will end up picking it up and taking it. And so if one of my neighbors can use it, or some of my family, I'd much rather go that route than just give it away in general. But so it'll be a busy week with a lot of thinning to do. I've had things that I've been going to hang on to, little things, books, and some other things that I thought, oh, I'll sell it on eBay and make a few dollars. And I'm starting to realize, after losing several people to COVID now, and just looking at the way the world is going, and a reminder that life is too short, that I don't want to be spending all my time listing stuff on eBay for a couple of dollars. I want to be able to focus on crafts and learning to paint and doing some projects here in my house that I've wanted to get done. And then when spring comes, I'll be out in the yard, and I'll probably end up doing a garden again this year, although I swore I wouldn't do another one. But there'll be plenty to keep me busy. But I want to focus on things that bring me joy and happiness, and that's part of just getting healthy overall, getting healthy in my mind. So that's it for this week. I'll check in next Sunday. Stay safe and be happy.